Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining us for our second virtual tasting. Apologies that it was a little delayed. There was that crazy thing called the holidays that all of us were that all we're all busy. We made our promise to get you guys this one, and Sam and I are really excited to talk about French oak today. We got a lot of things kind of covered today. You guys are all muted right now. We will actually unmute you for a little Q&A later, do a little hand raising session. Make sure you say nice things to Sam. His feelings get hurt sometimes. But just kind of wanted to say hello to you guys. I know it's been a little while. There's a lot of new faces. We grew this thing like crazy since we've last spoke. We rolled out this really cool French Oak series, and we'll talk a lot about that today. Thank you all for the feedback you gave us. I know most of you have filled out those surveys. We'll announce some winners here soon. And really just, the short list is growing. Think we are definitely finding our stride. Customer service has got better since we last talked. More special barrel bottles are rolling out. I think releases have been cleaner. Longhorn's getting a little better on shipping, but definitely really excited to see everybody on our side. I'm just gonna jump into it. We can all have some conversations later. Kind of the main star of the show. I think why most of you guys are here. So really cool partnership on this one. This one was a really fun blend for Sam and I to work on with the rest of the team. We went into this with not really knowing where barrels were headed. Sam and I are back in the warehouse every single day. It stayed hot. It was actually a very hot even fall. So it took a while for these barrels to kind of really develop. A lot of the whiskey to develop actually. We saw some really cool things happen around what was it, like late October, early November? The barrels really started to kind of release themselves and show themselves to where they wanted to go. And you and I pulled these French oak out and we're like, dang, these things have 2 years. You kind of forget when you're in the middle of everything. You're like, oh man, these are a 2 year finish on these now. So this will be our longest ever French oak toast product. These were brand new French oak barrels. I have developed a very strong relationships with one of the top of winemakers actually out in Napa. They own Myriad Wine Cellars. Mike Smith, who's the winemaker out there, has produced legendary wines. You guys might not be familiar with Myriad, but you'll probably be familiar with Old Carter wine. So yes, Carter Vineyards, Carter Bourbon, Old Carter Bourbon was actually so hold on, Sam's muted himself, so can't allow him to talk. There we go. Sam, you back? You back with me?
Yeah, sorry, a little
So so
technical difficulty on my side.
so Mike made all the wine for Old Carter and the Carter family. So multiple hundred pointers. Mike and I have a funny relationship. I randomly slid in their DMs. We were looking for French oak barrels, and he's like, "It's a pretty cool project. You remind me of myself when I was starting out. Well, I have a couple extra French oak barrels here that were new, never filled, custom spec to him. I still don't even know the final specs on what these things actually were." But they came in at the time. We had some 6 year old Kentucky bourbon and MGP bourbon laying around. Filled them up. They moved around quite a bit around our warehouse, but what basically came to us was our take and our first take and our longest take on what French oak aged in the South could be. This thing was kind of absolutely really fun for Sam and I work on. I'm actually gonna let him walk through the actual blending process and tasting notes and all the other fun stuff.
Awesome. Thank you, Clinton.
Yep.
Yeah, like you said, like the barrels themselves were super interesting. They're completely custom uh, for the vineyard itself prior to even really getting to us. With that being said, when it came to the actual blending of this particularly awesome bottle, I've been sipping on it for a little bit now already. It's got this Kentucky and Indiana blend. I know that there's a lot of talk out in the market how you have to stay in one state or another. Something that we love doing here at Short Barrel is really kind of pushing the envelope and testing the boundaries of what we can define as a delicious bourbon or whiskey. So the ability to take stuff from Indiana, Kentucky, anywhere that we decide to pull it from, put it together and really step it up to the next level is something we love to do. With that being said, the a little bit of difference between, for those who don't know, between an American oak barrel and a French oak barrel is French oak barrels tend to be a lot tighter. It takes a lot more time, a lot more effort, just a lot more intensity to get this liquid to go in and out of these barrels. And like most things that take a little bit of extra work, the results are traditionally a lot more. a lot deeper, a lot more intriguing. So if y'all haven't already cracked the bottle yet, little synopsis as to what the profiles are going on. It's significantly sweeter than most double oaks. There's this beautiful, as y'all, I would say, I know a lot of y'all have this bottle in front of you right now. There's this beautiful, almost like scarlet-esque amber color that goes into it. I mean, the nose is out of this world. Like the beautiful oaky notes really kind of jump to the front. And of course, as I'm saying it, I've made myself a little thirsty, so apologize.
Yeah, one thing I've loved about this one, I've had a chance to kind of sit with these. I won't lie, I might be on my third bottle. Right now, myself and a few guys drank quite a few of these during the holidays. I have three Shortlist memberships, by the way. So if anybody's asking how I got three bottles, that's how that one worked. Um, I actually love this thing with a little couple drops of water. It really, 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 really kind of shines. Yes, you can put water in bourbon, it's okay. You can put an ice cube in bourbon, it's okay. But it does really allow a lot of the natural oil, especially on first crack, to really come out of the French oak. Sam and I were fortunate to try a lot of different French oak finishes. Penelope did a really good one. A few others too. French oak is also very expensive, so I don't think I'll see too many in the market. But we will have some more French oaks come out. Um, we worked with Kelvin. I think if you guys have visited our warehouse, we worked with Kelvin on some French oak projects. To not only did we get ex French oak barrels toasted by Kelvin, we actually sent all of the cigar batch one and two barrels that were French oak. We sent those back to Kelvin that were actually toasted for us too. So we have Sam. What do we have? We have sherry, PX sherry. We have a couple Armagnac barrels. They're all retoasted
Armagnacs,
too.
cognacs, olorosos, all kinds of stuff are going back and forth between us and Kelvin right now.
Yeah, so we had Kelvin toast those for us, retoast those for us early last year. A lot of those will be hitting about the 9 month point two. We don't know where they're gonna go. We probably need to taste those here, Sam. But when they came in, they were basically the base profile,
Don't threaten me
the
with a good
P
time.
the PX sherries and everything toasted too. So a lot of really fun things kind of happening around that. I think French oak is starting to get some serious pull through the market. There's a lot of people talking about it. I think Penelope has done a fantastic job with it and a few others as well. And we're really kind of excited where this one end up. It's very cold in Atlanta right now. I know a lot of you are in the north, so it's very cold all spread out anyway. So this thing is still shining and going along.
Tony Del Rio brought his French bulldog in honor of this, in honor of the chat here today. I just know.
I was a chat rolling over here.
No, just in terms of your hosting today. I just looked down and noticed a French bulldog while you're talking about French
Oh,
oak.
that's awesome. Um, but no, like let's kind of open it up to questions about French oak. Adam, I know you know how to do like the hand
I'm
raise
gonna
thing. If
be I'm gonna be your tech on the back end here. So if anybody has a question, you can do the little hand raise thing, and I will do my best to get to you as quick as possible. Or you could type your question in the chat, and I will call on you. Or you just type your name in the chat, and I'm happy to pull up and call on people and I'll unmute you guys.
got one.
All right, I got iPhone, so let's see here. We'll unmute you.
Street, Brantford, Connecticut.
There you go. iPhone 85. Take it away.
This is George Ford. Can y'all hear me?
Yes,
Yes.
sir.
George, what's up, man?
What's going on, Riley? Hey, I drank my whole bottle. Any more available?
You will all be getting an email about that early next week. Yes, there are extra bottles available.
Sweet. That was my only question. I actually shared it with a couple guys the day before New Year's Eve. Um, Kevin Hawkins is a big fan of you guys, and he actually helped Turtle Creek store pick with you guys before I helped Turtle Creek uh, pick one with you guys, and he thought it was one of the most unique bourbons that he's ever had. Clinton, you mentioned putting some water in it. If I'm lucky enough to get another bottle, I'm gonna have to try that.
Yeah, we definitely have a few more. We're just trying to figure out logistics of shipping and all the other fun stuff. But yeah, there's definitely a few more floating around. I don't know if there's enough. Yeah, there's probably enough for everybody in here tonight. But we guys will all be getting some information on it here soon. We're
Sweet.
trying to we're trying to figure that out right now too. Anybody else? Come on, someone's got to want to talk wood with Sam. Somebody has to really want to talk wood.
I know the mustache is intimidating.
What was the thought process when deciding what liquid? 2 years ago, we were a completely different company. So this was where barrels were still very hard to come by. It was kind of some stuff that we didn't really enjoy on its own and thought it needed to be elevated a little bit. And much like how blending goes, you say that barrel needs something. We have these barrels over here, and we decided to t test this liquid in there.
Look, we also had we were still just learning too about what the warehouse was going to do. Right? I
Correct.
mean, we've for anybody who doesn't know, we've been in our warehouse officially up in Norcross. It'll be 3 years in March. We're our I know this because I'm in the process of renewing and renegotiating leases and expanding the space. I was like, oh crap, our lease is up in 35 days. No, and when we signed our lease, we were a 4-person company, and we're still only a 12-person company. And so a lot of it's experimentation and trial and error and trial and oh wait, that wasn't an error. And so I think that's a big piece of what's going on is these guys are starting to really find the sweet spots within the warehouses and knowing exactly, there's a lot of guesswork early on, and there's still a little bit, but there was a lot of guesswork about, all right, where am I pulling from to put where? And now that they've learned the layout and they've learned the way that this warehouse works, it's a little more tactical. There was a lot of throwing spaghetti against the wall early on, I'd say. Brad
Yeah, there's
Brown.
just go, Brad.
Hey guys, thanks. Yeah, as a local member, I work about 15 minutes away, but with a holiday, I haven't gotten by and picked mine up yet. How long do I have to get there before you start giving away the other bottles?
I mean, I've had 3 bottles myself, so I probably drank one of yours. No, you're good. Just come see us or reach out to Sam, drop Sam an email, just gonna let me know. We didn't really put a deadline on this, but please at least come pick it up by the end of February.
Oh yeah, I will try to get by there next week. Just being off at the holidays and being slammed at work, it's been a little tough to get away. But yeah, absolutely. I'll plan on getting by next week.
We
Appreciate
to
it.
we totally and that goes for anybody else too. If you're in here and haven't picked up your bottle, come see us or just make sure you do come grab it. We will hold as long as we can, but we are small and things move around. We don't want to make sure we lose anybody's bottles. Anybody else talk about wood?
Oh,
Ryan?
Ryan.
Hey, how are you?
Good, good.
Good. How are you?
Good. Thanks for doing this. Quick question. You kind of mentioned the price of a barrel of French oak. Can you speak on like what a normal American oak price is, and then what's the difference in a French oak price?
Wood or oak prices have obviously been completely all over the place the last 2 years. Right now, we can get around Adam, what's a Kelvin barrel right now? Like 325?
Around 300
But
bucks.
Yeah, somewhere in there. French oak's around 1,300 to start, and they go all the way to $2,000 for the barrel. French oak is very, 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 very time consuming. Obviously, the wood is much older too, and the cooperage that goes into making these correctly take a lot of these times. These barrels are beautiful. I mean, they are. I wish I could put a lot of things in how pretty these barrels look.
Yeah, you're talking about 10x on wood.
Yeah.
And keep in mind that but we still want it to be bourbon or American rye, right? So this was all barreled in new oak for at least, I think most of it was 5 to 7 years before we went in there. All right, so let's see, unmute. Ask to unmute. There we go. And then we'll get, is it Beringer? Is that right? You can unmute, and I'm gonna add a spotlight here for you. And go ahead.
Hey guys, how y'all doing? Hey
What's
Sam.
up?
good.
So I'm curious, you mentioned that the French oak is tighter, right? So can you maybe talk a little bit about what your process was in going through how long y'all were going to leave it in the barrel, right? And then what was the frequency in which you were checking, and how early did you start to check and then realize, oh my gosh, we need to leave this in another 4 or 5, 6 months, whatever. Can you walk through that process?
We'll
Yeah,
start.
absolutely.
Sam, you weren't actually with us when we started this process, so I'll talk about the start, and you can talk
I,
about the end. So
I
these
was just about to say they went in before I actually got hired.
yes, so these barrels are interesting since they were new. So the inside of a French oak barrel and toast, these are toasted barrels, so they're not even charred. So we're one, you're kind of starting with an uphill battle when they're toasted versus charred. So we tasted them around 6 month point. They didn't do anything. It tasted like MGB and Kentucky bourbon. We're like, okay, they need some more time. And then we are a firm believer in heat cycles in our warehouse. Obviously, thing gets hot, things do a lot of things inside wood, goes out of wood. So that was about the year and a half mark, around March when we tasted them again. And Sam and I made the decision, hey, we don't have labels, so let's go ahead and just let them kind of run for the summer. And we buried these against these were on the back wall, so a little bit cooler part of the warehouse. So they didn't really have too much heat happening. They were back along one of the white walls, but we knew they were going to be something we wanted to release in the fall. And these were the first two that kind of we only have four of these that were new French oak. So these were the two that kind of stood out when we started blending. It's a lot more Kentucky than it is MGP in here, but it's definitely a very unique process. French oak's weird. Like I said, haven't really had a chance to work with it too much. These toasted barrels we've got recently from Kelvin, since they were ex French oak retoasted, they're showing a lot better. We popped those with the sales team last week or earlier this week, and they're really good. But I'll let Sam talk more about the wood side.
Yeah, so when it comes to the actual like wood of the barrels and stuff like that, there's almost like you can almost feel the difference in the size of the barrels. Um, I mean, French oak, like we kind of discussed earlier, being a little bit old, like a good bit older. There's a lot like there's a little bit more artisanal effort that goes into the creation of these barrels when they were actually made custom. Like I said, for the original vineyard, it was this. So the bourbon interacts, of course, in order to get that good color, that good age, and all that, when it's going through these heat cycles, you want as much liquid going in and out of this actual staves of the barrel as possible. That's where as everybody knows, that's where you get your good, like I said, the color, a lot of that woody flavor, a lot of that kind of like older notes and stuff like that as it's going in and out. With the wood being tighter on the French oak side, there's a lot more patience that goes into it. There's not as much liquid movement. As for like checks, like Clinton was saying, there was a check at the 1.5 year mark. There was a check, I want to say, what, three, I'm going to say right before the summer, right before we pulled it, we kind of checked it and was like, all right, let's push it one more heat cycle and see what happens.
Yeah. Yeah, we won't take the toasted barrels that were ex French oak any longer. A lot of those are going to start coming out here soon, this 2 years, because it was new French oak. Definitely needed the at least a year. We probably could have pulled it in the the, the spring, but I'm glad we didn't. It developed a lot more richer profile versus I think it's a little bit more richer than sweet. It was very sweet in the spring.
Yeah, agreed.
All right, Steve is up next,
Hey, Steve,
and then Ed.
Hey guys,
what's going on?
How you doing, Steve?
Yeah, good. Obviously, you guys are killing it. I speak for everybody, I'm sure, when I say that. I don't have any light, so I'm not on camera. But wanted to ask about the barrels and the lifetime of a barrel, and how many times a barrel can be used. What happens to the barrel after you're done with it?
This barrel is already actually this barrel's heading back to Kelvin Cooperage. For these two barrels are heading back to Kelvin Cooperage for a retoast. So we're going to reuse these. Kelvin gives us 3 times to reuse barrels. So they will go in, retoast them for us, and that's basically the structural integrity of a barrel. They'll do the repairs and stuff on their sides too. Kelvin's an incredible partner to work with. But really, about after three, these barrels are done, as they come back in. It's the same process right now. I don't want to talk about sap squatch and bees knees and stuff too, but all of the X sap and honey barrels are all heading out to Kelvin on Monday for retoasting as well. So it's going to lock in a lot of those natural sugars and kind of create that brulee effect that others have done.
Nice. Okay, thanks, guys.
And the double oak barrels, to say, if you've ever been to the warehouse and you see a Kelvin barrel, stamped short barrel, that we can usually get 3 uses out of new oak. It just takes longer. First double oak will usually say about 2 to 3 months we can usually get max pretty good. After that, if you refill it, you're really looking about 6 to 9 months, and if you want to stretch it, really about a year in those barrels. So with where barrels are at right now, it really doesn't make sense to stretch a barrel out over 3 years. We'll usually send those back after 2 uses and kind of hitting the toasted process, which is the really cool part. We try to maximize the life of our barrels. There's no real reason not to at this point.
Okay. Well, my retirement plan is to come sweep your warehouse on weekends. So
Don't think
That
I
works.
won't put you to work.
Funny. Ed, what's up, man?
What's
Thanks,
up,
guys.
Ed?
Not much. Good to see you guys.
Good to see you too.
Question on the whiskey itself. Divert from the wood a little bit. So where this one's a blend of Kentucky and MGP. When
Correct.
when you're looking at something like that for a project like this, kind of how do you arrive on um, kind of your proportions, your ratios between the two, or are you just going with like a 50-50 and
Sit,
kind of
Well,
sit. Go
how
ahead,
do you
Sam.
approach that? Yeah.
I was going to say from from initial concept, or at least when we first have the idea, it's exactly what you might think. It's a whole lot of guesswork, or at least when we first come up with the idea, we first kind of see the plan. Or I often use the Emerald City analogy. Like we always got to walk that yellow brick road to get there, but like when we first come up with the concept, it's like, all right, like where do we even start? Like what do we want the base to be like? Like what kind of particular vein do we want to go down or profiles we really want to extract, and then it's trying to find really just trying to find the right barrels.
So just a lot of trial and error and
Yeah, we start most of our blends 50-50. I mean, even some of our other blends that we've done recently, we'll pick on 4 grain for a second.
I was just gonna
That's
say, Clinton, talk about 4 grain.
yeah, 4 grain started as basically exactly what it is. 50-50 Wilderness Trail Green River Bourbon. Dumped them together 50-50 and see what it needed. And the rye zapped out the wheat pretty much immediately. So Sam and I kept taking up wheat, kept taking up wheat, kept taking up wheat, and really landed on a ratio that we thought was interesting. There are certain times that some barrels just mesh. Especially when you're doing small batches, you can easily just dump 100% of that barrel and 100% of the barrel, and it creates magic. But other times, this is Beam. This is actually a Booker's barrel in French oak with the standard 21% MGP. So it was very beamy to start. Not that that's a bad thing. I know some people are oh, I don't like beam and whatever else, but what it allowed was the softness of the MGP to kind of pull a lot of that kind of sweetness that everybody's kind of getting. So these were two completely different profiles. These weren't just your standard, off 4 percentage points. These were completely different animals when Sam and I took a look at them. The original plan was to actually just single barrel these things out, and we just started messing with it. And I think, Sam, what was the ratio? Probably about 75-25, 70-30, somewhere in there.
Somewhere in there, yeah. Like after it was all said and done, it was about that 70-30 ratio.
Yeah, since we didn't do this project again, usually Sam and I will record a lot of our ratios and play, but this one just kind of held out, and then the rest of the MGP barrel, basically it went into a toasted product. We emptied those barrels out. It was just time.
cool. I mean, I, I've gotten really into the blending side of the industry. I just find it fascinating what you and other producers can come up with blends that can be completely unique versus something that's just a straight single barrel.
It's interesting. I think Sam and I and the rest of the team have a lot of passion. There's pretty funny days where Sam and I will think we nail something, we'll let it settle the next day. Nah. It's interesting. And one thing too with us is like, we kind of double oaks are always going to run a barrel prep. Patrick, you're raising your hand.
I got him.
Okay, cool. One of the things that we do, we're looking for things to be special. Not everything has to be barrel proof. There's a lot of things we've had recently that you can tell they've aged in our warehouse for 2 years. They're a little tight. They're a little tannic. They've definitely been in southern heat. So there are some things, even though they're sitting at, I know we're not supposed to proof down whiskey. 125, 126 is drinking way better to us, and I think a lot of people agree at 110 proof. Not saying that we're going to come down in those ranges, but there are certain double oak projects and toasted we have right now that are up there that literally just drink better. And everybody in there would probably agree with me. They're drinking better at 104 to 107 because of southern aging. So, not saying that's where we're headed, but if you see something maybe pop up at 110 or 104 proof, it could be very reason why. Is that whiskey just had southern effect on it, and we're trying to put out the best stuff we can. That's where it's going to be.
As much as I love proof, I mean, every whiskey has a perfect or an ideal proof, and I would much rather you guys dial it in and find that and put that out than
Yeah,
just put it out for the proof.
and this is kind of, I think, a fun conversation for everybody to listen to. We're in prime whiskey season right now. We are cold. Everything is out of the winter or out of the wood. We are, Sam and I are attacking the barrels very early in the morning right now to kind of figure out. This is by far my favorite time to actually taste whiskey with a team, blend with a team, come up with things because we are basically getting whiskey at its peak right now for Southern. We're focusing very hard to have most barrels filled by March this year for the fall and really kind of letting them sit because what we're learning, anything after May, our new space will have an air conditioning tasting room in it, which will be great. But Patrick's just chugging from a bottle right now.
All right, Patrick.
You've met him, right?
Something happened after 5 o'clock today. But anyways,
Yeah.
it's those things that we're learning as we go. And every time I talk, I always say the next release is going to get better because Sam and I and the team have figured out something.
Hang on, I want to chime in real quick on this question because I think it's a very interesting one that we've come a long way with. That what our guys do a very good job of is we have we have mash bills in the warehouse that are very harsh, some that are very plain, some that are very flat, some that are very spicy. That there's just certain base mash bills that take to double oaking or the bee's knees process or Sasquatch process better than others. Some get too harsh and aggressive, but you have to find something that complements. And that's where I feel like our strength is in the back of the house blending. It's if you're looking for a French oak, you don't want something that's starting too sweet because you know that the French oak is going to finish a little bit sweeter than an American oak. So you have to kind of blend a base that you know is going to take on sweetness well and complement. But you don't want to start with a base mash, a super high corn that's going to be very sweet, and then it gets too sweet with like a French oak finish. And I've watched the sausage be made for so many years, especially with Sam and Clinton in the back, that one of our strengths is figuring out where is this going? It's not finding a blend that lacks the finish. It's saying what can complement the finish. Because believe me, there was a lot of blends early that were non-complementary that we'd have to blend out. We would have to put into a larger blend and kind of fix where we were headed with this. But I feel like one of our strengths is figuring out from a base mash bill, from a base blend, how is this going to finish in this double oak and the bee's knees, the scar, the sapsquatch, all of these different barrels, because that's the art form. That's the art right there. That the art form starts 9 to 12 months before you ever know what it tastes like. And that's where the real risk is. That's the hard part.
Yeah,
We are willing to run any experiment. You have to be prepared for that experiment to go sideways or go south. But you've got to believe in yourself 9 to 12 months before the product ever hits a shelf. In this case, 2 years.
yeah. And one thing with us too is, you'll hear Adam, especially early, talk about too. Good whiskey makes better cocktails and better finishing. Like the stuff that we're finishing right now, a lot of the blends we've done, they stand up on their own. Like if we had labels for them, I'd just say this could be a barrel proof blend and go. So I think that's one thing that we're real proud of too is like our blends. We're not just dumping barrels and filling barrels. We're tasting as each barrel goes in. We're sitting there figuring out, making sure that one barrel's not off or it's just not gonna throw it off. Like we're sitting there popping the bungs. We're actually understanding the whiskey. It's not just mass pour and go, mass pour and go. Like we're understanding the blends even before they go into the secondary finish most of the time.
And what's difficult about the size and the scale that we are, and we've been talking about growth and where we're headed, it's at the size that we blend barrels. One bad barrel can throw a blend completely off. I mean, just ask Clint and Sam. One bad barrel can throw off an entire release that we have. And that gets easier with scale. And with scale, other challenges arise. But for us, one bad barrel can throw off a blend. And you have to mitigate that as much as possible. Something off, something that doesn't fit the greater picture. One incongruency in a barrel, not even say that it's bad, just one incongruency to the blend can shift the entire blend. You're doing on a 20 to 40 barrel blend, sometimes a 5 to 10 barrel blend. 10% of the blend can be non-congruent and throw it off. That's the art form. Yeah, that takes trial and error is a bad term. It's more just error and figure it out and
And
be
time.
transparent about it and find some good fans who
A
are
lot of
willing to
screaming, a lot of
drink the
running, a
errors.
lot of crying,
A lot of yelling
Yeah.
at you, Sam.
a lot of yelling at Sam.
So I wanted to touch back quick on four grain.
Everybody, this is Manny, by
Um,
the way. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Manny. Manny leads our sales. He's based down in Orlando, so you'll be seeing a lot of Manny's face.
yeah, no, I just want to touch quick base on it. If you haven't tried it, please do. But if you're having any parties and you want something that has flavor and enhances cocktails, by all means, please buy and support. Me and Clinton were down at a high-end restaurant. What were they using for their Gold Rush? A barrel, a single barrel.
Elijah Craig Barrel Proof.
Yeah, they're using Electric Craig barrel proof for a Gold Rush. I had them swip it. I had them had them swap it with four grain, and it tasted so much better than their barrel proof. Even the bartenders were like, "Holy crap, we need to use this." So you can make it in a ton of different cocktails, but I just wanted to highlight how great four grain has been for us, and trying to elevate more of
Manny,
that entry level. Yeah.
Manny, stop selling.
All right,
Manny's in
sorry.
a sales role.
I got to pull Stewart up here. What's up,
Yeah.
buddy?
What's
Yo,
up,
what's
Stuart,
up, brother?
Unmute.
He's still on mute.
Hello, Stuart. We can't hear you.
What's up, guys?
There you
All
go.
right, there you go. What's up, Stuart?
All right, so we know you got hundreds of barrels in the warehouse, and you guys have started working and planning 2026 out. What's something kind of for each of you guys that's on here? What's something in the back that you guys are looking forward to in 2026 to kind of give us a teaser going forward? What's a project that you guys are, individually excited about?
You just queued up something magical. We're gonna go and release this hazmat right now. I think while while we are at max capacity. So I'm gonna drop the link over here in the chat. You guys probably should have got it in your email to hold 1 second here. Meeting group. Let's do this. Your
Don't crash the
password is
website.
no, they won't. Your password is SB 2026. Free shipping and your 10% are already built in. So you don't have to add any codes. You guys should be good to go. This will not sell out. It's what make it one per, please, or it will sell out. I want everybody that actually tuned in make sure they got it. There will be some extras. I will turn it off tonight. Please don't buy any extras, or I will cancel your order. These will start shipping
And
next
please
week.
don't share the code. We've had some issues with people sharing the free shipping codes and discount codes.
And this is not going to the email group. This is only because you guys are here tonight. This is the only time this is going to be offered. So this is a thank you for showing up here tonight. We appreciate it. Here's the code. Sorry, I didn't press send. What am I most excited about right now? I'll start. We have some double oaks that just crossed the year mark, 1 year, 1 year, 1 month that are all 10 years plus right now. I'm very excited about. We actually decided to keep those going probably to the tier mark to see what they're going to do. I actually got to taste one earlier. Was really excited about. Just excited about the whiskey getting older too. When we started the brand, we were actually Patrick and I were joking around about this today. And we bought whiskey when it was 3. And now it's 7. Like now it's 6. Like a lot of stuff in our warehouse, even the old Fourth stuff when we bought the old Fourth brand, our stuff that we bought, and it's hard to believe their youngest stuff we have now is distilled in January of 21. Stuff's 5 years old now. I'm still in my mind thinking it's 2 years old. So
Yeah.
there's gonna be a lot of really cool things. I think the age statements, if you're a toasted fan, there's finally a 6-year age statement officially on the new toasted batches that are coming out. Really excited about that one. I'm excited about some partnerships that we have. If you guys were able to buy a King of Miami bottle, really excited about our partnership with George down there in Florida. We got some really cool things working on that. Just a bunch of other things that are kind of going on. We're still scavenging some barrels out there. We did just replace some 13-year-old ryes that I know everybody loves. Those will be coming in. We don't know what they're tasting like, but we will have some 13-year-old rye. Make sure we have those in stock. And just gonna kind of keep pushing the envelope. There's nothing really crazy finishes coming out. We will do a VDN orange wine, probably leading into summer, more like a summer sipper cocktail. I'm pretty excited about. But yeah, we're gonna have some fun this year, and we're gonna be intentional with releases. Probably a little slower, a little more methodical because we're blending 2,000 cases at a time right now. It's no longer 200 case runs. We're looking at 2,000 cases, which blows my mind.
Yeah, I guess
So,
I'll go next. Definitely. Yeah, I mean, you took the words right out of my mouth. Those 13-year ryes, I am always excited for. Older, funky ryes have always just been kind of my jam. Any of the wild and wacky experiments, if anybody on this call has had a chance to sit down and talk with me, I say it every time. I chase the weird and wacky. I chase the different. I chase the things that don't make sense in the whiskey and bourbon world. So any time we get to experiment
You
with
limit
something
that to the
different,
whiskey
that
and bourbon world, Sam?
well, for this call, yes. But yeah, a lot anything that's just off profile and different and just brings a little bit of something new and exotic to these barrels is definitely something I'm all about. Also, Manny, I don't think I've seen a mustache smile, but when we said 13-year rise, I'm pretty sure it about fluttered off your face. So,
Dude, I get asked for that all the time. So
actually, we have everybody in here. I'm actually just toss it in the chat over here. Has anybody had 20-year-old George Dickel? This is an actual question.
Sorry.
Does
I see
anybody
one
in
hand.
Does put it in the chat if you actually enjoy it. You just say yay or nay. I'm actually just kind of curious if anybody enjoys George Dickel, 20-year-old. Okay.
Thank you, Ed, because I'm not allowed to say it.
Well, hey, I had to ask. I mean, that you
Where's the
guys kind
chat?
of isn't the chat on the side?
He didn't say anything. He just used his hands.
it says chat disabled. I don't
Of
think
course, because I
the
don't know what I'm doing.
Oh, chat's disabled? Hold on.
Sorry,
thank
guys.
God we're all really good at whiskey because technology is not our bag.
I can do Google Meet.
Correct.
Zoom and me do not go hand
So
in
Should
hand.
be good now.
All right, there we go.
I'm going to go ahead and answer this one, and it's going to be a shameless plug. But one, well, listen, there's one big release and one big collab that I don't want to talk about right now because it's a want, not a need, but we could have some really fun stuff happen in the summer. But for now, the company is very focused on four grain. And this is our group here. That's our outlet for kind of like R&D experiments and kind of one-offs and stuff like that. But we're very focused on the four grain consistency in the blend and making that what short barrel bourbon is. And that might not be for everybody here in this group, but that's what I'm very excited about this year. It's coming back to a focus of what is our flagship bourbon? We need a $40 shelf product that is short barrel, and four grain will be that product. We are putting a lot of PR and marketing and advertising behind that. We're spending a lot of time making sure that the market knows when they hear short barrel, it will be four grain. Now, having said that, there's two releases that we're starting the year off that have never hit a wide scale release.
Yep.
So, what I'm actually really excited about is dropping here in 3 or 4 weeks. So, After Swarm for the first time is going to be a market LTO and blend that's coming out. I think in the past we've only done probably 300 cases of this product in general, but for the first time, it will be a market-wide release, followed by a market release of Sapsquatch. We've never done a big blend of both of these products. We've done ad hoc one-offs, a couple single barrels. Heck, Clinton, what was last year's After Swarm? Five, six barrels?
8.
Eight? How many
Yeah,
did we
but
just dump?
190
20?
cases or something?
32.
Yeah. So
Yeah, it was
we're
a
we're
very sticky warehouse for a while.
yes,
That's what she said.
and we just keep learning. It just keeps getting better. So the After Swarm that's about to come out, After Swarm it came out January of last year. was one of my favorite products that we've ever released when it came out. For those of you who don't know, Afterswarm is just the bee's knees rye. It's the honey rye version, and it is fantastic. It is a season of rye. We are just now experiencing the coldest temperatures to date. I love Afterswarm. Like as much as I love bee's knees, I love the honey rye. And right on the heels of that is going to be the first market release of of Sap Squatch. And that's another product that most people haven't tried. They've seen it in single barrel version. This will be the market release of Sap Squatch that is going to establish the product. There's going to be a couple of different versions of the blend with slightly different finishes, but we're really focusing on making sure that the blending that we're doing and the on the LTO basis, so the bee's knees, the cigar, the afterswarm, the Sasquatch, some of the double oak projects. I'm not going to name everything that's in the warehouse, or we'd go till midnight. But that's what I'm looking forward to the most. The single barrels, we're always going to have killers. We're always going to have killers. Those ebb and flow. It's the limited releases, the blends that are coming out for the first time on the market wide scale that I think people are really going to be reaching for over the next 60 to 90 days.
Yeah, and on that too, I know you guys are also signature members here. We've made Patrick and I have probably beat our head against the wall to make sure you guys this gets to Texas, you get it. Like there'll be small drops. You guys are all signatures on here. Local, you guys will know, always support your retail customer first. But we are definitely making sure you guys are taken care of. That's some of the feedback we guys like you'll see some things drop and like why can't we have that? Single barrels are really hard, but blends are definitely going to make it to you. That's why we did Takai. I know it was a little bit later. We had to shuffle some stuff around in the warehouse. But as a signature member, we'll always make sure you guys have access to stuff. That's what you get built for and what you signed up for. But after Swarm, if you had it last year, it was good. It was after you taste these side by side. After Swarm last year was a little one dimensional to us. It was just basically it was four. It was actually it was just funny, Sam. It was
No, it wasn't. It
four.
was delicious.
But it was only four honey barrels and four rye barrels or four toasted rye barrels blended together. This year is multiple different ages and everything else too. So and toast levels, and we're really, really, really excited about this one. Rye is very tough. Probably bourbon's fun. Bourbon makes sense. Rye will change on you with like 2 hours later. Like what is that?
Well,
So
Okay.
it's
you
pretty
have
fun.
you have Rise Incredible from about 4 to 7 years, and then it goes through puberty from 7 to 9, and it's pretty much undrinkable. And then is what we've discovered in our warehouse, and then it comes back, and it's a holy shit moment.
Yeah,
Um,
it's
I think I'm
Yeah.
most excited about the 4 barrels of barrel proof barrel aged gin that we have sitting in the back right now. But that's for a different conversation probably. Um, we've got some we have some killer gin aging in bees knees barrels.
year and 1 month already, which is hard to
Yeah,
believe.
we're gonna put it out for the summer.
Mhm.
It's a bourbon drinker's gin if anybody likes something a little light and different. But
When do I
um,
get to try that?
oh, it's killer, dude. You know,
Double
I,
dark.
I- I'm I'm
No,
I'm gonna throw it
I
out there too. I'm super excited for four grain. It's there's I for anybody that doesn't know, I'm Adam. I'm one of the founding members of Short Barrel and as a barrel pick group before we were a brand. And I was an absolute proof whore. I mean, I like the night before we picked our first barrel of bourbon, we were drinking 140 proof Willets at Harrison Smith House. And half of the people didn't even make it to the pick. So it's that kind of situation. And that over time there's if you just it's not you don't want 140 proof every day. And it's awesome. We're excited to release some hazmats and stuff, and it's fun, and that's what this group is for. But we are really excited to have a product that your standard day-to-day bourbon drinker will feel comfortable reaching for, throwing on the rocks. I mean, I'll drink it neat. I'll throw it on the rocks, or I'll toss it in a Yeti with some Fever Tree ginger beer if it's a hot day. And you don't feel guilty for doing it for the price. You don't feel like you're getting overpowered by anything. And these guys nailed the blends, and we're really excited for that. And I'm super pumped, like Patrick said, for these wide releases of Sapsquatch um,
Sap's
and
fun,
After
man.
Swarm. Sap's killer, and I'm just
Yeah.
glad. I've had COVID like 13 times, but it took me not really, but the first I didn't get to enjoy the first maple vanilla we did because the only thing I couldn't taste for 2 years was maple. And then one day I knew I was like finally good because I could taste Sasquatch last year when it came out.
You guys are all going to be big fans of or the official first small batch of sap. Very reminiscent of the KBF release,
Yeah.
but a lot. I think a lot of you guys probably got that when we did have a small little online release, but it's very reminiscent of very deep. We officially kind of nailed what playing with maple spirals are like. If you guys are familiar with 13 Colony has their new maple and they use spirals. We won't have a product like that, but we wanted something that was a little bit different, toasted based. So we used toasted maple spirals as a base. We actually let those hang out in stainless steel for almost 2.5 months, kind of finished the base whiskey and then added the sap maple syrup barrels into that. So we're very, 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 very happy where it is. And yeah, someone actually just asked me KBF booth this year. Yes, we have been invited back. There's going to be some special surprise releases
We learned a
this
lot
year.
last year too about how to do it.
Yeah. So
And we just thought, do we have more American light whiskey? The answer is yes. Um, None of us like American single malt, so the answer is no. Maybe one day, but at the moment we haven't played with it too much. But we also don't have the space. For anybody to know, again, just to share a little bit more about how the sausage is made. When I tell you we have 12 people, that doesn't include me because I'm an unpaid intern. So we have 12 full-time employees. Two of those people live out of state because they're sales dudes. We have three more on the road in sales. And so that drops us down to 7 people, and two of those people are making sure the company runs. So you really only have about 4 people, 5 people who are
I count as two
hands-on.
people.
Yeah, come to two. I wasn't gonna say it, but and it sounds like 1.5. But anyway, so we it's just the mustache. But it's you've got 4 to 5 sets of hands putting product together, and doing the blends and everything else. And we were extremely space constrained, like to the point where the Patrick and our internal team are they're working off site some days just to make room. And we love when people come visit, and we love seeing faces and saying hey and high fiving and kissing babies and all that. But at the same time, we've got such a small staff and such a small space that we're constrained in terms of the size of blends we can do. So we're really excited to get the space next door. It should be built out by the end of June. We just placed orders for 4 more, like between 12 and 1,700 gallon tanks to be able to do more. And some of the things that are a little crazy is just the fact that, we didn't know if Afterswarm was going to be something that people liked. We didn't know if Sap Squatching was going to be something people like. So when we first make it, people forget we can't just flip the switch and put more out tomorrow. It takes anywhere between 9 months and a year to get this stuff ready. Clinton and Sam and Gabe sat down, Jordan sat down today to make a plan for Bees 2026, which won't come out until November because we got to get the barrels filled ASAP while it's cold so that we can let them get the full summers.
Mhm.
Austin asked, what can you say about the hazmat release that came out tonight, Clinton?
So this is actually going to be our Black Friday. Yeah, Black Friday release, right, Patrick?
Yeah.
And we decided to give the staff off. We held it back. So it's OZ Tyler. It is not MGP. So everybody that is looking forward to a good old OZ Tyler hazmat, this is what you're getting. It is very staggish. These things have their crazies. This is almost reminiscent of kind of the
20,
Stag Elder. But
2017, is that right?
yeah, out of that run. These were some of those barrels that had some low fills on them. So it is not MGP. I think we've only done one other barrel of Kentucky OZ Tyler Patrick.
That was the
With hazmat.
Ozzy Osbourne.
Yeah, Aussie. So we held this back. Wanted to make sure you guys had something cool. So it's not going to be your normal. I think it's eight. The label. I don't have one in front of me, but I posted up there has the release date and the short list and all that fun stuff onto it. So very
Hey, can you guys save me one?
yeah, you're good. Everybody has respected the one
I
one
don't know.
limit, so thank you. I don't have to come hunt any of you down and cancel your order, so I appreciate it. But it's a really cool barrel. It was 140.5 proof. You guys will really enjoy it. Again, 375 is kind of our thing, and I'll be 1,000%. Yes, I'll be at Bruiseville Festival this year. Um, you guys are probably gonna laugh. I'm tired of hazmat whiskey. I'm tired of the market trends with hazmat whiskey and a lot of other things. You won't see too many this year. from us. There'll be some group picks and a few other things, but I think hazmat's going to be one of the things that I leave in 2025. I think a lot of people did a really good job with it, but I don't. It's fun. It's fun to have on shelf. It's fun to do whatever else too. But there's so much other cool things that we're doing other than hazmat. Now, if we find a killer hazmat barrel, don't think it might not show up in a link in your profile, but it's not something that we're going to go crazy on and try to keep chase the trends. Someone did ask about American whiskey. Yes, we have 20-year-old MGP, almost 21-year-old MGP light whiskey. We still have some of the original 18-year stuff that was released. And then we recently acquired 88 barrels of Green River American whiskey too.
91.9 and it's 2017. We're moving 400 barrels down in the next 4 weeks.
My back already hurts thinking about that. But
400.
yeah, there's only one other brand I know that's using that currently. I believe it's pronounced Larrikin or Larrikin or something like that. They have an 8-year-old American light whiskey on the market. It's the same exact stuff. I've heard really good things about it, so we're excited to get those. We didn't get any samples, so I'm gonna have to go ahead and get through those. Sam, that means you and I have to drink light whiskey, hazmat probably.
It's all in the 140s, so bring an extra liver.
Yeah, but I don't know what we're gonna do with it. There will probably be some things we're gonna experiment with it. We might even double oak some of it, get it out of that barrel and into new, and just kind of see what it does and play around. Fortunate with the market is where it is right now. There's a lot of really cool buying opportunities, so we've been embracing that.
What's up, Mitch? I didn't see you because you weren't there under your normal name. Sorry, dude.
So, Linder, you can't use a VPN to buy more than one bottle, but the link is at the top.
I
Um,
reposted it because Lindern got on late. I reposted it for him.
and Linder, we didn't do Black Friday because you couldn't make it in town, so we're doing it. We're doing it now. It's all for you. But so Mitch is now pinned. So Adam's the unpaid intern. I'm playing um, checkerboard up here with my screen. This is almost half our company between Clinton and Sam, myself, and Manny and Adam and Mitch. Like, this is almost half the company here. So, we really only have 12 people. Five of them are here, six including Adam. And you know,
Wow.
Wes is up in Tennessee. We got some warehouse guys. We have a couple of other people in the warehouse, but I know when Clinton sent out the surveys for the group that we really want feedback from this group. We really want good, honest feedback, and we want to try to make sure that this stays a small group of impactful voices and people that are close to the brand. So please, like almost half the companies right here, we want your feedback and we want to know what we can do better, what you're looking for, what you're not looking for. We're just trying to run experiments along the way and have some fun with this. So, um,
I feel like
King
the
of
Brady
Miami.
Bunch.
Yeah, Brady Bunch. There you go.
All
Bunch
right. So looking
packing a chaw.
looking at our looking at I'm gonna throw this out there.
Having a
Mitch, are
chew.
you packing a chaw? And if so, what goes well with the French oak?
I wish I was.
I
Let's
think the
see here.
sweetness of a parliament goes very well with the French oak. Just,
Yeah, just having a chew.
Claremont,
just
is the Claremont Lounge involved in that
It's
too?
our next
possibly.
dart. It's not going to be lawn dart. It'll be a dart and a dart. It'll be our summer package.
We need a
Tasting
Claremont
Zoom.
Lounge blend.
There was a question
No, we
about
don't.
cigarette batch comes out in the spring. Clinton, somebody
It's 20
asked
bucks.
about a tasting Zoom for King of Miami at
I
some
just
point.
texted him. I don't if he's on here and he can say hello. But yeah, we're working on some really cool stuff for that one. That one blew my mind. I thought it would be popular. If you guys don't know about the King of Miami, Mr. George Valdez could
George
be
was on
on.
for a minute. I think he had to go.
All right, cool. It's probably past his bedtime. I'm kidding.
It's past my bedtime. I gotta go too.
But yeah, we're gonna do something really cool with him, and there is another King of Miami coming, a much bigger release. So we'll make it work. Yeah, we're
Uh,
definitely working on some events for sure. I am traveling to some West Coast here in February. The sales team, Manny's down in Florida. We can always do shortlist meetups with him. He's around Orlando. He's always over in Tampa. We can definitely make some stuff work on meetups. It's a big something we want to focus on this year.
Yeah.
One of the things, we're planning expansion into 3 states this year. We can still ship all over the place, as you guys know. With your shortlist memberships, you get you get your shipping and your discount, so it should take care of you in that regard to make it as close to retail as we can and not lose money. One of the things that we're really focused on this year is being extremely strategic about our releases so that the more planned out in advance we are, we've kind of been able to go like, as Bruce Lee said, be like water, right? And in the past, we could do that when you're doing, your flexibility is really there when you're doing 6, 8 barrel blends. But one of the things Patrick sat down, pen to paper, and with Clinton and Sam and everybody goes, okay, so if we're going to do an LTO and it's going to get, at least a pallet to every state, we're starting at 60 barrels now. So we've got to be a lot more well planned, and that we're still going to do these badass things for you guys because that's what you signed up for, right? So there won't be as many kind of weird and wacky drops for the general public throughout the year. They'll be exclusively for you guys. So give us the feedback. Let Clinton know. Send Sam an email. Um, but we're trying to we pretty much have the whole year for limited releases planned out, and then obviously there's going to be really cool opportunities for single barrels and things like that.
Sure.
I will say, like for the locals or anyone in Florida, just follow our socials because I'm planning a bunch of events. We've got one the first week of February on Friday over in Vieira. We've got two events in Tampa. There's actually a barbecue dinner over in Sunset Walk over by Margaritaville end of this month. So,
I'm gonna start putting that. I'm gonna start putting that stuff in email for everybody too. So I'm gonna get very, very strategic with email. Um, Chris, you're from Hawaii. I think you just got that bottle free for shipping. So congrats on breaking our Hawaiian shipping today. But appreciate having you coming all the way from Hawaii to join Shortlist. That is so dang cool to know that you're in Hawaii, but a part of this, which is crazy. I know you're in America. I understand it's the United States, but it's still cool that you're like 4,000 miles from us being a part of this. So appreciate you being along for the ride.
And guys,
Uh,
we kind of made a commitment to do it right at an hour. We're at an hour. Clinton, you want to keep going,
No, I mean, unless there's any major pressing questions, you guys know how to get a hold of
Oh,
us. We
that's a
want
great question. Well, let's get Wes to put a meet and greet together. One in Kentucky, one in Tennessee.
for sure.
yeah,
So
hang
that's a
on.
great idea, guys. We'll get Manny and Wes to put together some meet and greets, and we'll figure out something for Georgia and Texas, and the places where we actually have distribution. So that's a great
Yep.
idea.
Yeah, we'll do some fun
To, to
meetups.
answer to answer Ryan's question on here, Ryan, yes, Takai is coming back and it's going to be even better in the fall. So some of the barrels are holdovers from last year, and we just got done filling Sam. How many barrels did y'all just fill of Takai?
32.
And Josh, we are likely to going to do kind of a grand reopening for you guys and for at the warehouse once construction's done. Right now, it's so tight you can't move in there. Just full transparency with the 400 more barrels coming down. But once we have the other 5,000 square feet, we'll be able to space
How big is
stuff
the
out
new
a little
tasting
bit.
room, Adam? I know it's air conditioning. How big are space?
We're putting in for anybody who's been has anybody here, you can throw hands up if you want, ever done a barrel tasting, a barrel pick at Four Roses up in Cox? So if anybody loves that's where we fell in love with picking barrels. And we find that Mandy Vance and the Four Roses barrel program is gold standard in barrel picks. So we have part of our new space is we are putting in a room that is reminiscent of the barrel room. It's nothing fancy, just like at Cox Creek, right? But we want to have a dedicated space that is air conditioned
Oh yeah,
and
I'm scared.
climate controlled, heated, air conditioned, so we can do barrel picks year round. It'll be about 450, 500 square feet, couches, some tables, things like that. So we'll be able to do that, and that clears some space so that we can move things around. And additionally, we have room about another 2,800 square feet of warehouse space and a couple more offices and a conference room to really be separated so that people can actually get work done, and a shower, thank God. So the things that we really need.
Yeah. Hey, Adam. George just jumped in here. The King of Miami is here. You want to throw him up here and let him say hello to everybody?
Absolutely. Give me 2 seconds to find him on here.
There he is.
Get another pour real quick.
Mr. Valdez.
My man.
My
What's up,
man, how's it
guys?
going?
There he
Just
is.
listening to all that good stuff you guys got going on.
I thought it was past your bedtime. That's why I thought you signed off on us over there.
Actually, it was past my bedtime. Well, really, not my bedtime. I just have made a habit after I sold my company to turn the phone off after 7 o'clock,
I need
you
to,
know,
right?
and just dedicate time to my family and, of course, drinking some of that good bourbon you guys sent me.
Yeah, George has a crazy bourbon collection. It is Sam and I've had a chance to hang out with him, and I know it's deeper. But thanks for joining us, man. I think you got a lot of King of Miami buyers on the in here right now. So let's give a little quick little taste of your day when you came and picked with us, and kind of where we're heading with the next one. Now you got another one coming out, and you're gonna do some stuff with us too.
I was just telling people how it all, everybody's asking me how it all came about. And I said, my son was finishing his master's in film from UGA. And I saw you post that Beach Knees. That was like 2 years ago. Can you believe that?
I know.
And then I contacted you because I'm a Cuban, so I like sweet bourbon. And then I went to visit you guys, and it's some of those things that just organically happen. I don't uh I don't really get close to anybody. Honestly, at my age now, and because of whatever my life is like, I keep a pretty private life. But I really connected with Sam and with you, and then we dreamed about doing this King of Miami. And I just thought that, here was a small distillery, or now big, that is totally transparent. There's no BS. Uh, you know, all the barrels are there. Everybody's super accessible and super nice. And I just fell in love. And now I'm looking right now, just in my top of my bar, 21 bottles of short barrel.
Crazy.
And I just bought that other hazmat. I, I
Drink.
figure I'm up to 1,100 bottles. I figured that I got to live to about 125 to just go through the whole collection.
I mean, you're still alive now, my man. You got a crazy background, so
Yeah,
you're
I'm gonna be 70 in February, and someone was telling me to me, I can't believe you're 70. I said, look, you spent 10 years in prison, and it's like the clock stops for you. I don't feel like I'm 70, but we're doing great, great things, and I'm excited. I'm just want to give out that message of hope. You can mess your life up, but you can become a better person. You don't have to end up your life the way you are. And our mission, we send 175,000 books to 980 prisons, and it's just changing lives every day. And bourbon is just my passion. It's because I found something that no matter what you believe in this huge, horrific, divided, hateful world, no matter what you believe, what your gender or religious or political, you sit down with people and you drink bourbon, and it just all that BS goes aside. And you guys are just creating unbelievable bourbon that is accessible to everybody. You don't have to. Look, yesterday I opened uh last drop Japanese. I paid $6,500 for that BS. And I'm still like slapping myself because my wife is like, just give me some of that Sasquatch. you
I
know
love
ABC.
that.
I'm sure. Yeah, I'm sure ABC probably thanks you for your patronage.
oh
Well,
my
So
George,
god.
we opened something pretty special the other night with just me and Patrick and Clinton that we may need to share a little sample of with you next time we see you.
Hey, listen, honestly, my go-to bourbon every night, I start out with a Sasquatch or a Bee's Knees. I mean, I just love them. And I just love all the different bourbon and the hazmats and what I love the most is that the message I want to get to people, look, I can afford that Japanese, but honestly, you don't have to buy that to have an amazing night and an amazing experience and have a great time. And that's what you guys are providing people. It's like, listen, there it is, man, from $39 to $100 or 180 for that King of Miami. People ask me, why 100 bottles? I said, look, I did that on purpose because I know that very few people are going to get 100 bottles. I mean, 40 some odd million people have seen my story. And even more going to happen in February. There'll be 2 episodes of in Paramount Plus, and at the end of the year, I have that big documentary coming. So we're working on a lot of different things. But I said, look, here's the thing, man. You can just get a great bottle of short barrel because you might not be able to get the King of Miami, but guess what? That's just 100 bottles out of a distillery that's got maybe 2,000, 10,000 more bottles as good or better than King of Miami. You know what I mean? And that's the reason I wanted it to limit to 100 so that people can say, hey, I didn't get a King of Miami, but I can go to Short Barrel and get tons of other bottles.
Well, luckily for you, there was only 128 in the barrel, and the 24 that you took for friends and family and stuff. We're not lying when we said that thing was a shorty. We're there. I wish we had more. Trust me, I was blown away. You and I were texting with that day. You're like, well, it's gone. It was just like that meme. We're like, and it's gone. It
We got
actually
one
like
for the
happened.
distillery. It's on the library
We have
shelf.
bottle. We have bottle zero basically. George
Hey,
has one,
so
and
so check
I
this out.
did.
I got two bottles.
Yeah.
I got the one that you guys were so kind to sign and send to me. And then I paid $200 for another one. I bought one to be able to have a second one. Just like everybody else, I bought one.
it's awesome. Well,
So
you and I have developed this a fun little friendship and everything else too. But there's a lot of chat over here saying how cool it is to kind of see you in here and what bourbon's about and everything else. So this is a really fun to have you on here today too.
yeah, and you know what? We're gonna do a great thing. We're doing a big event together
Mhm.
in March in Napa Valley with the biggest wineries in the country. So we're gonna introduce them to Short Barrel, and
Cool.
I'm excited about that because they know, I used to have 3,000 bottles of wine, and I don't drink wine anymore. And so yeah, we're gonna do great things. We're gonna do another King of Miami for sure. I mean, I just listen. I love you guys, and here's one thing. If you ask my wife, I mean, she's been interviewed by a lot of people, and she says one person asked her like, "Hey, what would you write in your husband's tombstone?" It was a crazy question, right? It was an event that I did, 20,000 people in Argentina, and she said, "I know what I would write. He was not impressed by nobody." You know, so at the age of 21, man, I was dealing with presidents. I mean, Pablo Escobar was my driver. I need to say no more. So,
And
but
we're done.
Yeah.
I love you guys,
Where's
man,
that
and I
mute
think
button? No, I'm
that
just kidding.
honestly, I'm not saying this for no reason. I would not say it. I really, really believe in what you guys are doing, and I believe in the entire team. Everybody at Short Barrel, it's amazing. It's just accessible people, no BS, and producing unbelievable bourbon and creating a great community.
Yeah, and
George, we really appreciate the support and the feedback. I had heard so much about you and finally got to meet you up in Kentucky and meet your wife, and you've got this warmth to you, and I think what brings you and Clinton together and what brings you and our brand together is just none of us believe in bullshit, right?
Yeah,
So when you find people that share that value, it makes it a whole lot easier to connect to people. It's something automatic.
yeah, and and I tell people, I said, look, we were we're I mean we're thousands in the cartel, thousands, and there was only four of us alive. And I think maybe the main reason is I was able to read through BS. And when I connect with someone, I connect. Look, Sam and Clinton are two of four people that are not my family that have ever, ever, ever stayed in my home.
Sam and I are
So
terrified, by the
Yeah,
that tells
way.
you that.
yeah. If I can interject, I picked Clinton and Sam up at the airport, and they're like, "Hey, we're gonna stay at this guy's house. You want to come over and hang out for a bit?" And then he told me who you were, and I'm like, "Are you sure you guys staying there?"
It's yeah. I mean, listen, I'm just a simple guy, man. I just
Yeah, that's what the
Yeah. No, man, we appreciate you more than you ever known. We can't go all in the specs of what batch two is going to be, but it's going to be bigger, badder, and definitely bolder and a lot of fun.
yeah,
Well,
yeah,
we got some out of these 400 barrels that are coming down, we got some really cool stuff. We're really
Yeah.
excited. And once they hit a heat cycle here in Georgia for a summer, it's going to be magic.
No, listen, I have no doubt about it. Hey, every time you release something, I buy it. So that tells you how much I support and love your brand, and really really appreciate what you people are doing to bring bourbon to everyday American man. $40 grain. I mean, my God, I've given that. I gave that the other day. I had someone come visit to do an interview about me on bourbon and banter, and I gave him the 4 grain, and he loved it. And he's a big bourbon guy from Kentucky. And I said, and I talked a lot about you guys in my interview. It's like that's my passion, man. I really consider you guys family, and I'm honored really to have done the first King of Miami and to do many other cool things to bring to the community.
We appreciate it, George.
Thank you.
I'm going to go put my kids to bed.
Yep. I got Sam and I have to drink whiskey at 8:45, 9 a.m. tomorrow, and we have a busy one. But thank you all so much. You guys know how to get a hold of us. If it was a little slow in December, holidays are over, get a hold of us. Keep sending those feedback. And again, cheers to all of y'all. I'm empty, but appreciate you guys for sticking with us, and let's keep building this thing as you know we will.
Cheers,
All
everybody.
right.
Have a great night.
Cheers, guys. Good
Night,
night.
y'all.